In the summer of 2019, I traveled across Morocco, and of the places I visited, one most of all left its indelible mark in my memory, my heart, and my spirit. Let's just put on hold all these record-breaking features for a minute. If there's one characteristic in particular that stood out to me, it's how this mosque was built on water. According to some sources, it was one specific verse from the Quran that inspired King Hassan II to commission the construction of a mosque, partly on terra firma and partly on the ocean. Chapter 11, Surat Hud, Verse 7.
وهو الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام وكان عرشه على الماء.
This verse says, and it is he who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, and his throne was upon water. There is something about the location of this mosque that gives you the impression that you have reached to the edges of the world and that you are now standing before the immensity of the unknown. When I first walked into this castle of the faithful, several questions began swirling in my mind. It made me wonder about what a religious building is meant to be, what it should do, whether it is supposed to be this costly, this big, this richly embellished. In Islam, there is an injunction against the portrayal of God or his prophets in any form, which in Islamic design led to the development of intricate and abstract patterns inspired by the Arabic alphabet, nature, and geometrical shapes. As I was sitting on the carpets waiting for the prayer to be called, I was marveling at how that mosque was almost too pretty, too distractingly pretty. When I left the mosque for the last time, I was faced on one side with the immensity of the ocean and on the other with the looming shadow of the minaret, two giants that made me put in perspective my being, my beliefs, fears, and ambitions, how all of this could be swept away by a powerful enough wave. And yet, none of these thoughts about how insignificant I am could tarnish the deep, profound, joyful peace I felt there. By looking at that building for quite some time, I realized how with humility we can still aspire to greatness, reach the point where no matter how good you are at what you do, you are always aware that there is something higher than you are and greatest in absolute terms. Despite our limits, I was reminded that we can still push ourselves to attain humble excellence. And so far, I have not come across a better teacher of that notion than Mosque Hassan II.